the show, but my nephew was placed in a boarding school, the one that Paris Hilton was placed into, and it was really upsetting for me because I heard about all these stories, and then, you know, it turned into a
Okay, this is Attorney Vince Davis, The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services and Win. My co-hosts are Mr. Brian Hamilton and Ms. Erin Carranza. Erin, take it away.
For Maria in California. Maria, do you have a story to tell or a question to ask? I saw something about, I think her call got dropped.
Oh, you know what? She did get dropped. So let's go to the next call. The next call would be Trish in Washington. Trish, did you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
a little bit of both, but I know I'll keep it short.
Go ahead.
Hey, Vince, I definitely watch your show like every single day, like while I'm working, while I'm walking.
You mean?
Trish, are you emailing me right now?
I was, yeah. I just kind of caught you up to
time. Make sure I have the 2 and 2 connected.
I've been in contact with you guys a couple times on and off, and I'm just kind of figuring out where to go from here. So I'm a family dependency. It's a dependency case, family. I'm a family, an aunt. So at this point, I got some paperwork. I got the family law case info sheet for the de facto, but I don't know if I can file that yet. So I was reading it from Idaho, and it says like it's like some sort of like, I don't know, it's kind of like awkward when you're reading it. And then I got like motion to intervene, motion for joiner party. My question is, and then I have a motion to correct clerical errors, which I don't know if that counts for correcting the social worker from totally lying about who I am as a human being. I know I'm saying a lot of things really fast. So long story short, I was supposed to get my nephew on the 22nd. I upset a social worker by making a report. I'm guessing she got in trouble because they pulled the affidavit for my nephew to go home, completely rewrote it. And one said I was great, and the next one said a whole bunch of really weird stuff about me that was definitely not true at all.
Sounds like retaliation there.
Definitely retaliation. The good thing I found out about Idaho is it's a one-party state, if anybody knows what that means.
You mean as far as recording?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what's the good thing about that?
I don't want to say it on air, but I think you should probably let your listeners know what they can and can't do with that clause.
Well, you know, the problem is that I'm in California. It's a two-party state, right?
Well, yeah, I'm in Washington, so is ours.
But some states are one-party state where, you know, in other words, you can tape somebody or videotape them without their permission and then still use that in court. In California, you can't do that.
Yes, sir.
Anyway,
we had
a PI. I have definitely a plethora of evidence to bring forward. I just don't know where to go at this point with the 6-month mark, because for some reason I'm hearing that there's another court date in September. I don't know why, but we just had one in July. And so I don't know if that was because an affidavit was submitted or if that was because whatever, but there was a, on the 19th, a progress report update review hearing, the 6-month mark that you talk about in your videos.
What do you think, Erin? What do you think she should do at this point? She's a relative trying to get a child placed with her.
Well, you have to contact your attorney. I mean, right? Like,
Trish, do you have an
attorney? Are you asking about reunification?
Trish?
No, which is why I've called you guys. And then, you know, I was really ambitious, and I own a little company, and I was like, I'm going to hustle this money super quick. And then the depression hit in from all this. And I don't know if I can hustle the money in time with how little of time we have.
Well, you know.
So that's where I'm at.
Trish, realize something. I'm down in Los Angeles, California, right? You're up in
Yeah,
Washington.
but can you like do that little thing where you like put a motion to enter or something like that?
It's a little bit more complicated than that, Trish. I mean, it's not like you're down the street and around the corner. You know, you're 2 states away from me. Have you tried to find an attorney in your area?
Well, that's the thing. I'm in Tacoma, Washington, and my nephew is in Idaho, Boise, Idaho.
Okay, so you need to find an attorney in Boise. You know,
yeah, that's really cute when you call for 4 days and they all say, "Oh no, we don't do that. We don't fight CPS."
You have to keep calling. You have to keep calling. You have to find, 25, 50 different attorneys. You know, I think Cynthia called 50 people. I called 25 people before finding one.
You know, yeah, I think I even got on the phone with an attorney, and they said, "Oh, the reason nobody's taking it is because, you know, it's a small town, and we all, you know, a lot of times we all know each other." I was like, cute. I should have got that on the one party.
Yeah, no, recorded. Once lawyers, a lot of people, once they hear CPS, they'll like, nope, you know, they back out. But yeah, I called, actually, Mr. Davis was my 27th phone call. But I know Cynthia tried 50 different people before she found Mr. Davis. So, I mean, you really, really have to put your nose to the grindstone and call everybody that you can. I mean, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, let me tell you what. Well, the squeaky wheel made the CPS workers mad. Now I have to be real squeaky. I did. I was a thorn in their side, and I'm dang proud of it. But, you know, it's my child, so I'm going to push back as a mother. And as an aunt, you should have some kind of say if you're trying to get your nephew. I mean, legally, I can't tell you.
The really devastating part, and I don't know if I've heard you guys talk too much about this on the show, but my nephew was placed in a boarding school, the one that Paris Hilton was placed into, and it was really upsetting for me because I heard about all these stories, and then, you know, it turned into a situation where he was at that one and then isolated and all this stuff, and I'm like, and, you know, a lot of times, no matter what I said to these people about how good he was or whatever, they just continue to say, well, his behaviors are meriting him. And it seemed like through the entire process, no matter what I said to these people, they continuously reference his behaviors. And I said, you know, like, that's what happens when you take a kid. He's in a brand new town. He's from the city. He's not from Idaho. They were just passing through. And then you isolate him for 2 weeks and he doesn't know. Like, the first conversation we had was, how do you find me? Or how did I find him? You know, like, so he was isolated and had no idea. You know, no one even knew where he was. And then next thing you know, you're finding out that he's on all these medications. And I'm like, hey, what's up with this? What's up with this?
Who's medicating him?
Like, caregiver prior. And so I'm familiar with these medications that they're giving him. And he had no prior diagnosis, no issues, nothing. And I'm like, no, I'm not okay with this.
Right.
And, you know, I even tried to call Washington people to get some insight, and they were like, I thought it was just an Idaho thing. And the next thing you know, I'm arguing with a social worker from like Washington. And I said, have you guys ever thought about environmental? Hello? Like, and their solution is to throw bottles of antipsychotics at it without neurological fight or flight, or, you know, understanding, you know, that children can live in that for a definitive time, depending on, you know, and they just, I mean, it's almost like I have like every social service degree under the sun. And I'm like, how do these people go to school? Like, that's what I went to school for. I'm not a social worker, nothing like that. But how did you go to school for that? And you have no recollection of like children's emotional states, like, and that's normal for them to be upset or to whatever. But there was a lot of abuse allegations, and that's why it was an urgency for like my nephew had told me quite a few times that he had had hands put on him or this or that. And it's like, no matter who you call, you're just fighting against this machine.
Right. Hey, Trish.
Or they try to call him a liar or make it my fault. I'm digressing his progress, stuff like that, by asking him questions.
Hey, Trish, I want to thank you for calling and thank you for listening. But I want you to call me tomorrow at my office, 888-888-6582, because I want to talk to you a little bit more about your case. You're in Washington, I'm in California, and the case is in Idaho. So we're going to have to spend a little bit more time together, and I might be able to give you some suggestions that might be able to help you. So call me tomorrow, 888-888-6582. They'll, an answering service will answer probably, and you'd leave a message and they'll contact me directly. Again, thank you for calling and thank you for listening. We have to take a break right now. This is The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services and Win. We'll be back after these messages.